Lady Alcina Dimitrescu, the voivode of Castle Dimitrescu, a powerful figure in the world of vampires, reigns supreme in the forgotten corners of Eastern Europe. Alcina Dimitrescu was born into the noble Dimitrescu family sometime before the Great War, and through this ancestry inherited a hereditary blood disease. As a young woman, she embraced the vibrant emerging jazz scene of the 1930s. Adopting the stage name Miss D, she and her band, the Paul Boys, garnered a modest following. Their music resonated through time, reaching even into the modern day. In the aftermath of the Second World War and the abolition of the nobility, Dimitrescu found herself adrift. She returned to her family's ancestral lands, now under the sway of a mysterious occult force. It was during this time that Alcina drew the attention of a powerful Tzimisce elder, intrigued by her noble lineage and potential offered by her unique blood condition. The elder decided to offer her the embrace. She returned with her new sire to what is now known as Castle Dimitrescu, now as its immortal mistress. With her newfound vampiric abilities and under the tutelage of her Tzimisce sire, she set about establishing her dominion over the surrounding lands and its inhabitants. As she continued to hone her powers and control, Alcina Dimitrescu would eventually turn her gaze beyond her domain, seeking greater power through the forbidden act of diablerie. Eventually, her progenitor would leave her to fend for herself, making her the sole ruler of the castle and all its occupants. Unfortunately, there is minimal information about her sire, with the solitary clue to their identity being the letter M. Standing at an intimidating height of 290 centimeters, Lady Dimitrescu is an imposing figure, instantly drawing attention and respect. She is almost always seen in a long, flowing white dress, which, combined with her pale skin, gives her an almost ethereal quality. She adorns her elegant attire with a wide-brimmed hat, adding to her regal and dignified appearance. However, when her hunger reaches its zenith, Dimitrescu is known to adopt a distinctive ensemble. Donning a suit of blood-red armor named Vanatoarea Deneum, or Kin Hunter, she embarks on her hunts for unsuspecting kindred in the surrounding areas. The suit, forged from a blend of unknown, potentially supernaturally imbued metal, serves as both a protective shell and a grim symbol of her deadly intent towards her own vampiric kind. Her eyes, a captivating mix of yellow and green, hold a predatory gaze that hints at her monstrous nature beneath the surface. Her elongated, retractable claws are a testament to her mastery of vicissitude and her embrace of her inhumanity. Her beauty is timeless, a frozen image of aristocratic nobility, maintained and enhanced through her command of flesh crafting. However, this elegance hides a cruel nature. Lady Dimitrescu is every bit a Tzimisce, embodying the alien horror and cruel beauty that defines her clan. Bella, Cassandra, and Daniela were originally mortal women of beauty and grace, chosen by Lady Dimitrescu, not for their servitude but for their fierce loyalty and potential. They were brought into the world of the kindred through a traditional embrace. Alcina personally undertook their transition, making them her childer and adding them to the bloodline of the Tzimisce. Unlike most Tzimisce, who view their progeny as tools or extensions of their will, Alcina Dimitrescu has cultivated a genuine relationship with her childer. They are not merely her creations, but also her daughters. This unconventional approach for a Tzimisce has fostered a deeper bond between Alcina and her childer. They are fiercely loyal to her, not out of fear or manipulation, but out of genuine affection and gratitude. This strong emotional connection has proven to be a strength in times of adversity. When under stress or facing threats, they can rely on each other, drawing upon their shared experiences and trust to work together more effectively. However, this deep bond can also be a vulnerability. The strong emotions that tie them together can be exploited by their enemies. Threats to one of them can unhinge the others, and their affection for each other can potentially cloud their judgment or lead to reckless actions in their desperation to protect one another. Despite this risk, Alcina cherishes her relationship with her childer, viewing it as a testament to her unique approach to her vampiric existence. They have served as her most loyal companions and protégés, learning the ways of their clan and the intricacies of vicissitude under her guidance. They share Alcina's cruel tendencies and hold a significant influence over the running of Castle Dimitrescu. Just as their sire, they hold no qualms in experimenting with vicissitude and have over time altered their appearances to create their own unique aesthetics. The daughters, being of the Tzimisce clan, have learned to master vicissitude, demonstrating the same talent for flesh crafting as their sire. This has allowed them to alter their physical forms and adopt more monstrous aspects when necessary. They also possess the traditional kindred strengths and weaknesses, including superhuman physical attributes and a vulnerability to sunlight. Bella, the eldest, is the most composed of the three, often taking on a leadership role among the sisters. She is measured and strategic, always thinking several steps ahead. Cassandra, the middle sister, is passionate and impulsive, often guided by her emotions. Daniela, the youngest, is the most unpredictable, blending a playful nature with a sadistic streak. In their human guise, they maintain the appearance of noblewomen, beautiful and elegant. However, beneath the surface lurks their true monstrous nature, ready to be unleashed at their sire's command or when their haven is threatened. Like many vampire rulers, Lady Dimitrescu has a number of traditional ghouls as servants, spies, and a myriad of other useful tasks. Unlike many Tzimisce, however, she has her own unique take on the Vozhd and Schlachta. As part of her experimentation with her vicissitude powers, Alcina has created terrifying beings she calls Vârcolac. Taking wolves from the nearby forests and merging them with humans, she used the flesh-crafting abilities of her Tzimisce heritage to transform them into a powerful force to be reckoned with. Vârcolac stand taller than an average man, with muscular bodies and a smattering of fur. Their faces bear a striking resemblance to a man-wolf hybrid, similar to the glabro form of the Garou, complete with sharp predatory teeth. Their hands and feet end in claws, capable of tearing through flesh and even armor. Despite their monstrous appearance, they exhibit an uncanny intelligence and coordination during hunts, tracking and surrounding their prey in packs. They possess heightened senses, strength, and speed, further boosted during the full moon, a side effect of their transformation that Alcina has yet to fully control or understand. Their primary weakness is their reliance on vampiric blood for sustenance and strength. Cut off from it, they will weaken and eventually fall into torpor. Additionally, as a result of their creation, they bear a vulnerability to silver, which can cause them severe harm. The commander of the Vârcolac is a massive ghoul known as Urias. Urias was once a robust and strong-willed mortal, feared and respected in equal measure by his peers. His life took a drastic turn when he crossed paths with Lady Alcina Dimitrescu. Intrigued by his strength and indomitable will, Alcina offered him the chance to serve her as her ghoul. Seeing an opportunity for power and immortality, Urias accepted, becoming the first of the Vârcolac. As Alcina's ghoul, Urias has undergone significant physical changes through the vicissitude powers of his master. His once human form has been reshaped into that of a massive, monstrous creature, reminiscent of the Krynos form of werewolves. With his new form and the unnatural strength bestowed by the vampire blood, Urias quickly rose to prominence among the Vârcolac ghouls, eventually becoming their general. The Vârcolac patrol the boundaries of Castle Dimitrescu, acting as first-line defenders and dissuading curious or foolish trespassers. Their terrifying presence has fueled local legends of werewolves and curses, further isolating Castle Dimitrescu from prying eyes. Sitting atop a mountainous region deep within the forests of Eastern Europe, Castle Dimitrescu is the seat of Alcina Dimitrescu's power and influence. This sprawling Gothic fortress has stood for centuries, its towers and spires a haunting silhouette against the skyline. To the unsuspecting eye, it seems a relic of the past, untouched by the march of modernity. To the supernatural communities, it is a stronghold of the Tzimisce and an undeniable symbol of Alcina's rule. Surrounded by dense forests and treacherous terrains, the castle is nearly impregnable. The natural barriers, coupled with Alcina's monstrous guardians, the lichen ghouls, dissuade most from venturing too close. Yet there have been attempts to breach its walls by bold vampire hunters, and even the werewolf tribes that border her territory. So far, none have been successful. The castle's defenses, both natural and crafted by vicissitude, have repelled every siege. Tales of these failed assaults have only added to the castle's formidable reputation. Alcina rules over the surrounding lands with an iron fist veiled in a velvet glove. The local communities are a mixture of fear and awe towards the noble family in the castle. The disappearances and strange occurrences are often attributed to local superstitions and legends, shielding Alcina's vampiric activities from scrutiny. Those who suspect the truth are quickly silenced, ensuring the secrecy of Castle Dimitrescu's true nature. Inside her domain, Alcina holds absolute power. She has established a feudal system where the nearby villagers pay her tribute in exchange for protection. These tributes often serve as a source of sustenance for Alcina and her daughters. Over time, she has expertly woven a web of control and influence over these lands, making her rule seemingly unchallengeable. Castle Dimitrescu is more than a haven for Alcina. It's a fortress, a throne from which she rules, and a monument to her power and the fearsome reputation of Clan Zimishi. Despite its isolation and the terror it evokes, Castle Dimitrescu has seen its share of sieges and conflicts. One of the most notable confrontations was the uprising of the local Garu packs, provoked by Alcina's increased hunting activities and her creation of Vârcolac infringing upon their territory. The werewolves declared war on the castle. This battle was fierce, with the Garu individually being vastly more powerful than Alcina and her minions. The castle was nearly overrun, but Alcina managed to repel the attack, using her monstrous form and consuming several werewolves in the process. This confrontation ended in a stalemate, both sides taking heavy casualties, and the Garu withdrawing and becoming wary of the castle's might, leading to an uneasy truce that persists to this day. In the late 20th century, the Second Inquisition, armed with modern technology and weaponry, set its sights on Castle Dimitrescu, in an event that is now known as the Scarlet Siege, using intelligence gathered over years to exploit the castle's perceived weaknesses. Unbeknownst to them, Alcina was ready. Using her network of spies and informants, she had anticipated their arrival. The Inquisition found not a vulnerable stronghold, but a fortress bristling with anticipation. Alcina, her daughters, and their Vârcolac put up a fierce resistance. Ultimately, the siege failed, adding another failed assault to the castle's history. These conflicts, among others, have only added to Castle Dimitrescu's intimidating reputation. It stands as a testament to Alcina's power and her ability to maintain control over her domain against any who dare challenge her. Alcina maintains a facsimile of feudal rule over her domain, seeing herself as a noble above her subjects. The villagers pay a tribute that serves as her and her daughter's sustenance, a grim tax exacted under threat of gruesome punishments. However, Alcina is not a completely cruel ruler. She provides protection to her domain, ensuring that no external forces threaten the lives and livelihoods of the villagers. This protection, however, is a double-edged sword. While it shields the villages from outside threats, it also prevents them from seeking outside help against Alcina's rule. The local folklore and fear of the supernatural also contribute to her control. The villagers are superstitious, their fears stoked by the eerie presence of Castle Dimitrescu and the strange happenings associated with it. The monstrous Vârcolac and other creatures that roam the forests serve as constant reminders of the deadly power that Alcina wields. Inside Castle Dimitrescu, Alcina and her daughters live in luxury, their needs catered to by a combination of human servants and grotesque creations of vicissitude. They conduct their dark experiments and twisted parties within its walls, safe from prying eyes and the laws of mortal and immortal societies alike. Alcina Dimitrescu is technically a member of the Sabbat. However, her remote location and self-imposed isolation have allowed her to maintain an unusual degree of autonomy. The Camarilla, despite disapproving of her blatant disregard for the Masquerade and her known practice of diablerie, has been unable to effectively move against her, deterred by her powerful defenses and the inhospitable terrain. As the signs of Gehenna, the prophesied end of vampire society, grow stronger, Lady Alcina Dimitrescu's behavior has shifted. Rather than dismissing the rumors and omens like many elder kindred, She has taken an active interest in these signs. Paranoid and cunning, she views the coming upheaval as a chance to solidify her power and even elevate her status within the Sabbat and beyond. Alcina has thrown herself into researching the Book of Nod and other ancient texts, seeking ways to stave off or survive the impending apocalypse. Her studies are not limited to texts alone. She's intensified her experiments with vicissitude, aiming to unlock even greater powers and secrets hidden within the vampiric form. Her daughters, ever loyal, aid her in her endeavors. They've stepped up their hunting, both to feed their increasingly demanding mistress and to provide test subjects for her ruthless experiments. Alcina's Vârcolac have also become more aggressive, expanding their territory and ensuring that no unwanted guests disturb their master's work. Castle Dimitrescu, once an opulent fortress echoing with grand balls and aristocratic extravagance, now resembles more of a mad scientist's lair. Its luxurious rooms have been transformed into laboratories and libraries filled with arcane texts and the pitiful moans of her experimental subjects. In the local towns and villages, whispers have grown louder. People have gone missing. Strange howls echo from the castle, and terrifying creatures have been spotted in the forests. But no one dares to investigate, fearfully recalling the centuries of legends and curses associated with the Dimitrescu family. The coming of Gehenna has only served to heighten Alcina Dimitrescu's monstrous nature and obsession with power. As the final nights approach, she is ready to defend her reign, no matter the cost. In her unending quest for power, Lady Alcina Dimitrescu has turned to the forbidden act of diablerie, consuming the essence and souls of other vampires to increase her own power. She has become a serial diablerist, hunting other kindred with a predator's determination and a gourmand's delight. These heinous acts, coupled with her constant self-experimentation through vicissitude, have led Alcina to evolve into a monstrous form, far removed from her usual elegant, aristocratic guise, that she has named Balaur. This transformation is a testament to her overwhelming power and utter disregard for the laws and norms of kindred society. Alcina's becomes a nightmarish amalgamation of the countless vampires she has consumed. Standing taller and more imposing than ever, she sprouts additional limbs, each tipped with deadly, razor-sharp claws. Her skin becomes tougher, akin to armored plating, able to withstand conventional weapons. Her once captivating eyes now glow with a chilling, malevolent light. In this form, Alcina exhibits heightened physical prowess, greater resilience, and an enhanced ability to use multiple vampiric disciplines simultaneously, a result of the numerous souls she's consumed. It's said that she can channel the abilities of her victims, making her an unpredictable and formidable opponent. However, this form comes with its own perils. The strain of maintaining such a form and the numerous souls battling within her can lead to bouts of madness, during which Alcina becomes a rampaging beast attacking friend and foe alike. Also, her blatant disregard for the Masquerade and her violations of kindred laws have made her a target of both the Camarilla and Sabbat. Despite these risks, Alcina Dimitrescu embraces this monstrous form. To her, it represents the pinnacle of her power and a visual testament to her authority. She is the embodiment of the Tzimisce ideal, a perfect blend of aristocratic beauty and nightmarish horror, an undying testament to the clan's terrifying grandeur. Lady Alcina Dimitrescu, as befits her Tzimisce heritage and her monstrous nature, employs distinct and terrifying hunting methods for both her human and kindred prey. Her methods reflect her refined tastes and her cruel enjoyment of the hunt. For human prey, Alcina Dimitrescu often employs a method reminiscent of her aristocratic status and her sadistic tendencies. She frequently organizes lavish parties and balls at Castle Dimitrescu, inviting unsuspecting mortals under the guise of grand celebrations. Guests are treated to an evening of opulence and decadence, unknowingly taking part in a deadly game. As the night progresses, Alcina, with the assistance of her daughters, isolates and seduces her chosen victims. The victims are then drained of their blood, their bodies disposed of within the castle's catacombs or turned into subjects for her macabre experiments with vicissitude. Additionally, she exerts her control over the nearby villages, demanding regular tributes of villagers, who are then consumed or used for her gruesome experiments. The Vârcolac also play a role in her hunting methods, often sent to round up those who dare to resist her rule. Every decade or so, Lady Dimitrescu's hunger for kindred vitae reaches its peak. This is a time of immense danger and vulnerability. During this period, she dons her red armor and actively seeks out fellow kindred to hunt. Alcina is driven mad with the desire for the blood of her own kind, kindred vitae being an intoxicating and powerful substance for vampires, especially for those who are older and stronger like Alcina. In this state of heightened hunger and bloodlust, Lady Dimitrescu is at her most dangerous. Her strength and speed amplify, and she becomes more relentless in her pursuit of her prey. However, this also marks a time of vulnerability for Alcina. To satisfy her thirst, she must leave the safety of Castle Dimitrescu, exposing herself to the outside world and its inherent risks. And Alcina becomes a prime target for those aware of her predicament. Her absence from the castle also weakens its defenses, providing an opportunity for her enemies to strike. However, her daughters, the Vârcolac and Urias, remain to defend the castle in her absence. They are ready to protect their home and await the return of their Domitor from her bloody hunt. While Lady Alcina Dimitrescu presents a formidable adversary, her power and cruelty should not render any brave or determined hunter hopeless. Like all kindred, Alcina has weaknesses that can be exploited if one is careful, strategic, and well prepared. In combat, the first thing to remember is that Alcina is extraordinarily powerful, and her vicissitude skills make her exceptionally unpredictable. Her monstrous form is highly resistant to most forms of physical harm, and her mastery of various vampiric disciplines can make for a challenging fight. Direct confrontation should be a last resort. Stealth and evasion are your friends. Alcina's large size in her monstrous form can make it difficult for her to maneuver in smaller spaces. Exploiting this can give you a momentary advantage. Another strategy involves using her daughters against her. While they are formidable in their own right, they are not as powerful as their sire. Isolating them and dealing with them individually can reduce Alcina's advantage, and perhaps even draw her out. It's also critical to remember that Alcina is not just a brute force adversary. Her charm and manipulative abilities are as potent as her physical prowess. Always be wary of her attempts to deceive or seduce. As a Zemishi and a vampire, Alcina shares the standard vampiric weaknesses. She cannot move about during the day and has a profound vulnerability to sunlight. However, exploiting this weakness can be challenging given her secluded location and her control over the local populace. Objects of faith, such as holy water and religious symbols, are often effective against kindred. However, their efficacy can vary depending on the individual vampire's beliefs and the strength of their faith in life. Most importantly, Alcina's monstrous form, while granting her immense power, also leads to bouts of madness due to the struggle of the numerous souls within her. These episodes could be used to a hunter's advantage, providing an opportunity to strike. If one were to ever incapacitate the lady, move her far away from her territory. Zemishi vampires cannot stay away from their home for long. Doing so for long periods of time can weaken them considerably. There are whispers of a legendary dagger forged by the citizens of the very villages Lady Dimitrescu loams over, imbued with poison from a tree of the Fae that is said to be deadly to creatures of the night. There are rumors that Alcina has discovered this knife and hid it away in her castle. If one were to find it, it could prove a particularly effective weapon. Lady Alcina Dimitrescu, the imposing voivode of Castle Dimitrescu, exemplifies the unsettling allure and ghastly grandeur synonymous with the Zemishi clan. She casts a long, haunting shadow over her domain, embodying the chilling authority kindred can hold. Yet this terror is intertwined with a captivating complexity. Her reign, laced with fear and reverence, her mastery over the macabre art of vicissitude, and her insatiable hunger for power create a multidimensional figure who reflects the intricate and enigmatic tapestry of the world of darkness. With her existence, we're reminded that beauty and horror often coexist in the labyrinthine world of the kindred, presenting a dance of power and fear as eternal and complex as the night itself.